Hey everybody, welcome back to today's video. I'm Sean James and this is Kentucky, the mini truck state. Thank you guys for joining us. I really do appreciate it. Like always, hit the like switch, comment, subscribe, notification bell, all the good YouTube-y stuff to make sure it helped grow the channel. So far, everything seems to be going really well. We're right at 250 subscribers, so I'm really happy with that. Had a lot of good, some comments back and forth. I've had some people find me on my Facebook page and my Instagram page. It's also the same thing. I'll try and get links down below for Kentucky the mini truck state for basically all three pages. So that'd be great if you guys could check that out. There's about 350 people on my Facebook page, which is really well. The Instagram isn't growing real quick, but that's okay. I don't really post a lot on there anyway. What I'd like to do is make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to do a channel shout out at the end of this for Purple Sonoma. So make sure and stick around for that. And then what I want to do is what we've been working on. We've been doing the rear air lines on Kaydee's Mazda. I'm getting really close to getting this wrapped up. I have a pretty good idea how I want to do it. And the plan is I'm going to run the air lines to the back of the cab. And from the back of the cab forward, I'm going to run a plastic line. That way, if there is something that does happen on the side of the road, I'm not trying to fight hard lines underneath the truck, make it easier to get underneath there and replace the lines if need be. And once I get to the front, I'll run hard lines into the airbag. So that's what we're going to work on. I figured out the placement where I want to put them. It's just a matter of right now, I've already got the brackets cut, bent. I've got to weld them. We did that in the last video, so I didn't really feel like showing that again in this video. But what we'll do is we'll pick it up once I get them metal finished, and we'll get them bolted to the truck and get them set where we want them. And I'll show you how the routing's going to go with that. And I'll show a little bit of how I'm going to do that as well. But once again, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to do all the YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Sharing really helps the most. I've had several people who've shared all my videos, which is great. I met with some of my friends this past weekend. They had a car club party, and I went out there and hung out with them. A lot of them said they like the videos, they like what I'm doing, and that always makes you feel good when people say, "Hey man, you're doing a good job." So thanks again to everybody. I really do appreciate it. Let's get into today's video. All right, guys, here we go. As you can see, I've got more work done off camera this past week. I've been working on getting the air lines ran towards the front. I've got the air lines going to the dump valves, coming around, following the frame, coming up, and they'll go into the airbag. I had to pull the airbags off this truck to put on my GMC for the helper bags. I had one rubbed through, so I had to replace it. So I just pulled these off here and put them on my truck temporarily. I have new ones coming. I just haven't received them yet, so I know that will work. It's up past the center of the hole, plus you have your thing. So all I got to do is get that mounted up and hook the fitting to it. Not a big deal. So the plan is I have this bracket bent. I've got to metal finish it, weld it, metal finish it still. And the plan is they're going to go right here, be one there, one right beside it, and then the air will run into the dump valve. And then from there, we'll end up running, bending some tube so we can secure it to the frame. That way it's not flopping around, and we'll get all that stuff mounted. So first I want to get this stuff welded up. I said I wasn't going to show it, but I've got to do it, so I may as well record it and show you guys again, because maybe somebody didn't see the last video. So let's get to that. Well, just like happened last time, I've got a remote that I put in my pocket, and it stopped the video right as I started to weld it, so I didn't get any in the video. Weld the first side, I welded the other side, but they did turn out really well. So that'll make it super easy to grind out metal finish. So we'll give that a second, and we'll let that cool off. We'll flip it over, and I'll try and capture welding the other side. Oh yeah, those turned out good as well. Gotta be happy with that for sure. That turned out really nice. And you can see where it's burning through the back sides, we're getting really good penetration. And that's one of the good things about bending those tabs the way that I do. It makes that inside really thin so that weld can get through there really good. It'll take very little cleanup with the flap wheel just to knock that edge down, make it look nice and clean. And these brackets will be good to go. Right now it's currently about 11 p.m. Monday night, and I do have to work tomorrow. I'll have to get about 6 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and let these parts cool off. That way we can handle them a little bit easier. After welding both sides, they are very warm. I'm very happy with how they turned out. They turned out really good, so it's going to take very little quick work just to get them touched up with the flap disc. So that's always a good sign. What we'll do is we'll pick it back up tomorrow when I get off work. We'll get those cleaned up and get them ready to mount to the frame. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year's to everybody. You'll see this on Friday, so it'll be New Year's already. Happy New Year's to you guys. We'll pick this up tomorrow, like I said, when I get off work, and we'll figure out how we're going to run the air lines. It's going to be kind of fun to run them just for the fact of where they're coming out of the air valve, out of the tank. We have to snake it around the shock, then back into the dump valve with the T, and then run it up to the front where we're going to run it into hard line or plastic line underneath the cab, because it'll be very well protected. We shouldn't have to worry about anything hitting it. That's kind of why I want to do the hard lines in the back. If something gets kicked up and hits it, the hard line is very less likely to puncture. You know, it might pinch, but it shouldn't puncture as easy as the soft line. And underneath the cab, I should be able to run plastic line fairly easily and keep it out of harm's way. And then also, if something was to happen on the side of the road, it's a whole lot easier to pull a plastic line out from underneath the cab versus trying to fight a hard line. So we'll make sure and get to that point. I'll have to jack the truck up in the air when I get ready to do that. Right now, it's about 8 inches off the ground, and I cannot lay underneath it because I'm a big guy. So we'll have to get the truck jacked to do that part. So we'll more likely end this video at getting the lines ran up to the front, and I'm thinking we could get some sort of mountable bulkhead where I can have it's a solid pass-through. I do have some fittings that I can use. I just have to figure out a way that I want to mount that, and that'll be one of the fun parts. So with that said, we'll pick this back up tomorrow. It is now Tuesday evening, New Year's Eve. We are back at it. So I'm working on trying to get these airlines figured out, and I'm not really loving the way that's coming out, but I am happy with it. I still have a lot to do. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So I got the valves mounted. I got the brackets cleaned up and got them mounted. The plan is run this out, and I'm trying to decide how I want to tee it to go back to the valves, because the inlet's on the back side. Got the shot going down right there, so that's going to be kind of in the way. So I think what I'm going to do is put the T here and run it kind of around and under and back over and into the valve. So I'll kind of do it off camera because it's going to be real slow and kind of tedious. And then I got to decide how I want it to come through this junction here, which, it's under it pretty well. I'd be able to attach it to the frame and then turn it up and then go through the pass-through. There you go. And then once it goes to the pass-through, it'll get turned down into, and I go clean up all this mess, figure out what I need to keep, what I need to delete, and all that good stuff. So we'll go ahead and try and get that figured out next. Man, that was tough, but let me tell you, we got it. It was a little bit harder than I expected it to be, but we were able to get it figured out. Those complex bends really threw me for a loop in a few places, and I do have some scrap pieces where I did make mistakes, but that is all part of it, and I was able to get through it and get it done. I'm glad that I'm pushing myself to learn new things. That's part of why we do this, is to face new challenges. At least for me, this is something brand new, and learning it has been a lot of fun. There are 3 videos. What I'm going to do is put up a playlist for anybody who hasn't seen the first 2. That way, if you're interested in maybe learning a little bit more about the hard lines, but like I've said before, I'm not a teacher. This is just how I'm learning things. So don't take this as this is how you have to do it, because I'm sure there's a few people that will see this and be like, what is this dude doing? So, that's just part of it. That's how YouTube works. But like I said, I really do enjoy the process of figuring this stuff out, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So let's go ahead and show you guys what we got done. And there we have it. So as you can see, we got the front valves mounted. We got the lines ran around, nice and symmetrical. Comes around, dumps into the back side of the valves. That's the inlet for the valves. And of course, the dumps will be on the outside of that. I'm real happy with how it turned out, especially being the first time doing this. There's a lot of complex bends coming up and around, over, down, and in. That was a lot of fun figuring out. Like I said, I made a few mistakes, bent some bends backwards and had to start over. I'm not sure what's going on with the air tanks. For some reason, there's a little bit of difference. You can see that this side is definitely just about an inch shorter than that side. I don't know if the tanks are just maybe mounted offside a little bit. Like I said, it's underneath the bed. You're not going to see it. So I'm not really too worried about it. Just, kind of a bummer that it's not exactly the same, but it'll be okay. I got the lines bolted down, so they're nice and solid. I ain't got to worry about them moving around. The brackets turned out really good, holding the valves, which I'll pull them off, paint them black to match the frame. And the plan is I got to run the dump valves. I have to put hose coming out, up, and exhaust here. And I'll do the same thing for the front ones. I'll run them out of the front and bring them up and probably duck them back to the frame so I can secure them. That way they're not flopping around. I don't have to worry about them falling off or anything like that. And then that way, it's nice and tidy. I won't have to worry about it. Pretty happy with it. A lot of work, a lot of challenges, but you push through, you get it done. And like I said, I'm real happy with how it turned out. So that's what really matters. So what I'd like to start doing is some of these videos from time to time. I'm not going to do it all the time, but as I find channels that I enjoy, I would like to share them to help them grow as well and get their name out. And so on this week, I want to give a shout out to Purple Sonoma on YouTube. He is up in Canada, I believe, and he is building a S10 regular cab that is stock floor body drop. He's putting an LS6 motor, T56 transmission on air ride, and he's building it from the firewall back. And just the way he's doing things is really interesting. I enjoy it. It seems it's different than the way I would do stuff, but it's also a good way to do things. So, and the main thing he's wanting to do is help motivate people, because like I said, he's been working on the truck for 20 years off and on, different stages, he's done a few different builds like that. And he's got to the point now where he's finally back on it. His wife has really, helped push him along to get it going. So that's always good to hear. So what I'd like to do is make sure to have you guys go find his channel, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and really help his channel grow. I think he's at about 130 subscribers right now. He's been doing it for like a year, so I'd really like to see that number just jump up, way up there, because I think he deserves it. He seems like a really good guy, and he wants to motivate more people to get back on these old projects and finish them up. And that's the one thing that we could all agree with, because we've all had it happen. This truck I've been working on for 2 years off and on. I've got a Mazda that's sitting on beside my garage. It's been sitting out there for 7 years. I got one behind the house that I've had for 14 years. So, and those trucks will get built. That's one of the things with this channel that I do plan on getting those trucks operational. So, I really do enjoy it, and seeing, his passion with getting back on an old project, it kind of gets me fired up to stay on mine. So, like I said, I just want to give him a shout out. He seems like a really good dude. So please go like and share his videos, comment, and all that good stuff, because I know he would love to see it. With that said, I do want to say thank you to all the people that I've talked to in the last week or so that have reached out to me and said they enjoy watching the videos. The few people that have been sharing it, quite often, I really do appreciate it. I have a friend named Donnie down in Georgia. I'm not going to say his last name because I know I'm going to mispronounce it. But Donnie was like a hero to me when I was a kid. He had a Toyota pickup that he built that was in Mini Trucking Magazine. It was down at Pigeon Forge. When I saw it in person down there, it's just a gorgeous truck and beautiful truck. And I found him on Facebook, and I reached out to him one day, and we've talked several times. Seems like a really solid guy, and I'm really glad that I found him. I'm really glad that we're friends. I do appreciate that, and that's the one cool thing about these trucks, is they do bring people together. So that's awesome. And Donnie, please get your channel going. He does upholstery in the hot rods and mini trucks and stuff like that. He does some really, really amazing work. He's wanting to start a channel, so Donnie, get it going. Let's do it, bud. I like to see it. He actually sends me pictures of him sitting on the couch watching my videos. Said, hey man, it's mini truck time. So I was like, sweet. And I will say that is kind of odd. It's not something that you really think about, people sitting on the couch watching videos. Like, you hope that they're watching them, but like, it's just kind of odd having, and I enjoy it. It's pretty cool to see that people are doing that. So thank you guys for doing it. I do appreciate it. But let's go ahead and end the video there. And like I said, I'm glad to have you guys along for the ride. But like always, like, comment, subscribe, notification bells, like switch, all that good stuff. And share the videos. Like I said, that's the best way to help me grow. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm also, let's see, I started a TikTok page, but I don't know how much I'm going to post there. Because, it's really hard to have 4 pages. It seems like that's really all I do when I have free time, is making clips to post up. But like I said, I do appreciate having you guys follow along. So we'll make sure and catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.